it. So you're going to come down onto your mat. And you just sit into any position that's comfortable for you. So whether it's with your legs crossed, or if it's more comfortable for you to extend the legs, or if you prefer, you can go ahead and sit into a chair, either or. If you have any props available, you can use those as well if you have trouble sitting on the floor. That just raises up your pelvis. And sometimes that's easier to sit. So I'm just going to go ahead and use my blanket. Now, Mr. Carrots, you're going to be in little pain, aren't you? Lie down, buddy. All right. So once you come into your seated position, see if you can feel your sit bones, those two bones in your bum. Just gently root those down in towards your mat, or if you're on a cushion. And once you feel the sit bones kind of rooting down, grounding down into the earth, we grow tall through the torso. You can wiggle around the shoulders a little if that helps. And then feel yourself grow tall from the top of the head, the crown of the head. I'm going to close the eyes if that feels okay to do so. And just tune inward to your breathing. So feeling the breath rise and the breath fall. Without trying to change it, just feel yourself breathe. Rise and fall. And then from here, if you like, you're going to change up your breathing, seeing if you can equal out your breath. So breathing out, if possible, for 5 count. And as you exhale, 5 count. If you feel yourself straining at all, lower the count of your breath. So maybe it's a 3, 3, or 4, 4. Samavriti, equaling out your breath. So feeling a soft whisper through the back of your throat. And just notice if your mind wanders as you're feeling yourself breathe. Just keep bringing it back to your breath. And just using your breath to keep bringing you back into this present moment. And when we breathe in this way, this allows the nervous system to move from activity to just coming into a more sense of calm and peace. Like a reset to the nervous system. And then slowly open up your eyes, taking in the light from the room and all the surroundings. Gentle rise and fall now of your breath. We're going to reach the arms all the way out. We're just going to circle them up and then down through the center. Circling out and up. You're going to make the circle as big as you can with your arms. Warming up through the shoulder joint. Maybe you lift the head if that's okay to do so, looking at the thumbs. Reaching out, big, big circle and up. Coming all the way back down. From here, we're going to take our hands And we're going to let ourselves come down into a forward fold. So you're just going to reach the hands further forward. Maybe you're more upright, but if the body allows, you'll come down even further. Maybe even the forehead comes to the floor, but there's no pushing or anything like that. Just let your body take weight and fold down. Now from here, we're going to slowly use the hands to walk back. And then we're just going to transition here, coming up onto all fours. We're not going to stay here. But we're going to reach our hands now out in front as you bring your bum back down towards the heels. Arms will extend forward. And then from there, activate your hands by pressing your fingertips down into the mat. And then that meat on the kind of like the index finger, you're pressing that down as well as the palm of your hand. And as you press your fingertips down, you'll notice how the arms then begin to get more engaged. You can feel the muscles hugging onto the bones. And then with an in-breath, you're just going to lift up a little, let the hands slide towards you. And as you exhale, you're going to fold back down. So an in-breath, lifting up or floating up. And exhale, sliding back down. So just some slow, gentle movements here. Reaching forward and reaching back. Now the next in-breath, we're going to lift all the way back up into your table pose. And just gently take the knees here, sort of the hips side to side. Taking it nice and slow, moving through the joints. And then come right back to your table pose here again. And we're going to pull our heart through our arms into our cat pose. So as you inhale, press down through the fingertips and then gently pull your heart through. Feel an arch as well into think of your mid-back. You'll feel it in your low back for sure, but think of also your mid-back. And then as we exhale, we're going to tuck the tail and round our spines up and try to take the hips over the knees here. So an in-breath again, heart pulling through, and an exhale, round up. So cat rolling, breathing in, maybe the elbows bend as you try to draw the heels of the hands towards you, pulling your heart through. And then exhale, lead with your tail, round it up, chin towards the chest. Pushing into your hands here. A few more rounds now on your own, breathing in and out. Moving with the flow of the breath. And then next time that you round up, we're just going to pause and hold here for a couple of breaths. So we're really pressing into the hands. We're gently tucking the chin towards the throat. And you're feeling like you're trying to stretch through all the vertebrae. And then come right back to your table pose again. Curl your toes and under. Walk your hands just slightly forward of your shoulders. We're going to lift up here in downward facing dog. So downward facing dog, just pedaling the legs here. And in downward facing dog, what we're trying to do here, you can pause and hold, bend your knees, and then lift your hips up towards the sky. And when you do that, you'll start to feel your chest kind of pull towards your legs. Let the head relax in between the arms. And it feels as though the front of the hands here is like you're trying to stretch the front of your mat away from you. And then go ahead again, lower the knees back down. Two big toes come together, reach the arms forward. We're going to come right back to child pose again. See if you can still keep the arms nice and active here by pressing the fingertips down. Although if you feel like you need a little breather, you can just rest the arms. You can even let the elbows come out to the sides. And then bring your awareness to your breath here again. So as you're breathing in, feel the expansion through the belly and through the rib cage. also through the back of the body. And then as you exhale, as though you're just kind of deflating here again. You feel the ribs narrowing here, belly drawing in. So breathing in again, feel yourself grow and expand. And then exhale, slowly empty the breath out. Another in-breath here, and lift back up to your table pose. Wrists underneath the shoulders, knees underneath your hips. Again, walk the hands actually slightly forward of the shoulders. And then we're going to lift back up in downward facing dog. So curling toes under, lift your hips up. Now you have an option here, and whatever works best for you, you're either going to walk the feet towards the hands, or if you prefer, the hands can walk back to meet the feet, either or. When you arrive, we're going to bend the knees here quite a bit so that you take out any overstretching here, or you may not feel quite warmed up enough in the backs of the legs or your low back. So come into a forward fold here. And then gently start to push down through your feet and notice how that now engages your legs. And then either taking hands to hips, you have some options here depending on your spine, or maybe you roll yourself all the way up. If you have your hands on the hips option, you're just going to, if the elbows are out to the sides, we're going to take the elbows so that they're pointing back and then push into the feet. Inhale, lift yourself up, circling the arms all the way up. And as you exhale, take the hands back down into prayer. And then from here, we're going to come into Tadasana, our mountain pose. So go ahead and let yourself, before we come into the pose, just shaking out through the hands, the hips. Might want to take the arms out to the sides. Open and close the hands and let those come down. And then once again, begin rooting down through your feet. So the feet are pressing firmly down into the mat. Feel as though you have a block in between your thighs. Get that engagement in the legs. Lift up through the chest, broadening across the collarbones. And hold and breathe here. See if you can continue to find extension now from the hips all the way up through the crown of the head. Feeling that natural spreading of the collarbones. But notice when you feel that spreading of the collarbones, that you aren't popping the front ribs out. It's a tendency for us to do that. So when the collarbones are spreading, we're going to hug our upper arm bones in. Feel the shoulders firm on your back. And feel as though the back ribs are lifting. Tailbone lengthening. Thigh bones are squeezing. Even think of your hip points squeezing towards one another here. And then with all of that action, as we're keeping our body very active here, see as well now, can you soften the face, soften the jaw. And then we're going to inhale, nice big circle of the arms out and up, lift up. If you can, we're going to interlace the hands, push them up towards the sky. Hold and breathe here, reaching the palms up. Gaze can look up and then take the gaze center. And then we're just going to slowly release. Hands come all the way back down. And then an in-breath again, we're going to reach out and up. This time we're going to catch hold to the left wrist. Lift it all the way up and over. As you exhale. Breathing in again, lift all the way up. And lift up and over to the right. Come back to center. One more time again, lifting up and over towards the left. Towards the right. And then coming back to center, holding on to the right wrist, lift up and over to the left. So think of yourself growing tall. You're not trying to let yourself crunch down on the left side. We're lifting up and over. And then again, slowly release the hands, come down. And then make your way towards the front of your mat. Still coming, bringing yourself back into your mountain pose with your firm legs. Low belly gently pulling in. Inhale, reaching the arms out and up. Look up. Again, that's okay for the neck. And then as you exhale, bring your hands all the way down through prayer. And you're just going to hinge at your hips. Take it nice and slow. So hinging at the hips, knees softly bent. Hands can stay in prayer if you like. And then slowly, slowly release. The hands come down into a forward fold. So the hands might touch the floor. If they don't, that's perfectly okay. You can just hold on to the backs of the legs. We're just going to pause and hold here and breathe in a forward fold. Notice with the legs as well, do you need to bend your legs more? Or if you're warming up, are you able to start to straighten the legs a little more? But don't push it there. Keep watching for how it feels in the back of the knees as well as the low back. Then we're going to lift up halfway. So let's go ahead and take our hands underneath the knees or onto the thighs. Or if you like, they can reach further down towards or even onto the mat. So halfway lift. Feel as though you're trying to pull your heart through your chest here. Gaze is slightly down. Chin is tucked towards the throat. And then exhale, forward fold again. Bending the knees again as much as you need to come into your forward fold. And then we're going to walk the feet back, coming into a downward facing dog. Maybe this time you pedal out your legs here. And then go ahead, slowly lower the knees. Coming back to your table pose. And then let's do our cat rolling. Inhale, pull the heart through. And exhale, round it up. And in breath again, heart pulls through. Exhale, round up. One more time, pulling the heart through. Exhale, round up. And then push your bum back towards the heels, two big toes together. Come back down into a forward fold, into a child pose. So great. So you can keep the hands really active, or if you feel like you need a breather, just let go of the arms. Let the forehead descend towards the mat. Don't worry if it doesn't touch. You can still be lifted up. Now breathing in, again, we're going to round through the spine. Lift from table pose to downward facing dog. Bending the knees, you can keep the knees bent or begin to straighten out the legs. And then decide if you're going to walk the hands back to meet the feet, or if you found it better walking the feet towards the hands. Doesn't matter, you just decide. And then when the hands arrive towards the feet, we're going to lift up halfway. Draw the shoulders down the back and exhale, forward fold. Really bend your knees. This time let's take our arms and reach behind. Pressing down, excuse me, into the feet. Let them sweep all the way forward and lift yourself up. Then exhale, hands come into prayer. If you're at the back of your mat, again, take your time, walk forward. Taking your hands back at your heart center. Sweep the arms again wide. Breathing in. Exhale, bend the knees. Start to forward fold again. So think of your spine just hinging at the pelvis and the spine all one line, head in line with the neck, and forward fold here. Drop the hands, let them rest wherever you can, looking in between the legs. And then an in-breath again, lifting up halfway. Notice your shoulders here. Are they starting to round down? Are you able to draw the shoulders down your back? So you can really feel that nice and firm. And then exhale, forward fold. Walk the feet back, downward facing dog. And then lift through your heels and lower the knees back down to the mat. So we're right back to table pose, but we're going to add on here now. Lift up your right arm and then step your right foot forward. Or another option can also be coming up onto your knees. You're going to bring the right foot forward and then lower your hands. So you're in a low lunge position right now, but go ahead, curl the back toes and then see if you can lift up the back leg. Pulling your heart through, so you're looking to try to find extension right out through the back leg, out through your heel, and then your crown is reaching forward. Now you can stay here with the hand. Let's actually stay here with the hands down. And then go ahead and lower the back knee. And now uncurl your toes. And then see if you can take one hand onto the thigh and then the other. So we're coming up into a lunge position here. Now the right hip, we're going to gently draw that in and back. Take both hands to your hip points and just see if they're both square here. Notice if one is kind of pulling forward, can you square them off? And then maybe lifting an arm up or both. And then slowly release the hands down on either side of your foot here. And then lift up the back knee. If you can, you're going to see if you can step back to downward facing dog. Now, if you're not there yet, just go ahead and take the right knee back and then lift into your downward facing dog. You can exhale out through the mouth, especially if you're feeling like you have some heat in the body. Now from here again, lift up through your heels, slowly lower the knees, right back to table pose again. Inhale, let's go through our cat rolling, pull the heart through, and then exhale, round it up. This time as we pull the heart through, breathe in, exhale, round up, and then push your bum back towards your heels, two big toes together. The knees can be wide, or if you like the knees together option, just bring them together. So coming down into your child pose here. And then on an in-breath again, roll up through the spine, come back to table pose, lift to downward facing dog. From downward facing dog again, walk the feet towards the hands or hands towards the feet. Once you arrive, lift up again halfway. Keep drawing your shoulders down your back. Feel as though you're reaching your crown forward, the tail back, and then we're going to try to take any rounding out of your mid-back area. And exhale, forward fold. Bend the knees. Feel your belly rest onto the thighs, maybe reaching the arms behind you and using that momentum as you push into the feet to activate the legs, and then the arms swing all the way forward to lift you up. Look up and exhale, take hands back down into prayer. Breathing in again, big sweep of the arms. And as you exhale, hands come back into prayer, bend the knees and hinge at the hips, forward fold. Let go of the hands, top of the head is heavy. In breath, we're going to lift up again, halfway. Keep rolling the shoulders down and exhale, forward fold. Bend your knees and walk the feet back, coming into your downward facing dog. And as you exhale, you're going to lift through your heels and lower the knees back down. Now from here, we're going to go over to our other side. So you're going to lift the left hand up, step your left foot forward. Now you're in your low lunge position. And then from here, extend the back leg and lift up into your high lunge. And so when we lift that back leg, we really, really want to engage our thigh muscle here. So feel as though you're lifting your kneecap up and then lift your head forward. See if you can try to let your torso get longer as well as down through the leg. Then slowly drop the back knee. And so the back toes can also be curled in under or flat, either or. And then one hand at a time onto the thigh. Maybe the hands just stay here. Again, awareness of your shoulders. Notice if you're rounding at the chest, can you open up your heart here? Maybe lifting up one arm or both arms. And then exhale, slowly release the hands down. We're going to step back to downward facing dog here again. So option one, lift the back knee, step all the way back. Or option two, lift the left arm, step the left knee back, and then you rise into your downward facing dog. Now from here again, lifting through the heels, slowly lower knees. Inhale, pull your heart through to your cow pose. Exhale, round it up into a scaredy cat. Breathing in again, heart pulls forward. Exhale, round the spine up Two big toes together and bring your bum back towards your heels. We're coming right back to our child pose here. Now breathing a nice big in-breath. We're going to round up through the spine, drag the hands back, curl the toes in under, and lift right back, downward facing dog. Again, let the feet and hands meet one another. And once you arrive, you're lifting up halfway. Pause and hold here. When you're in your halfway lift, just notice if you're really trying to, or if you're finding that your weight is more so in your heels. Can you balance your weight through both feet and then reach tall through the crown? Now exhale, forward fold. Again, bending the knees here. Reach the arms behind and inhale. Lift you all the way up. Hands come back down into prayer. Reach the arms out and up. This time, yes, let's continue with taking the hands at our heart. Bend the knees, hinge at the hips, forward fold. Lifting up halfway. Exhale, fold. Walk the feet back, downward facing dog. Exhale, lower the knees. Inhale, let's reach the right arm up. Step the right foot forward. Come back to your low lunge. Pull your heart through. The fingertips may stay on the floor. If you're having trouble here, just trying to find some space, you can even noodle yourself around and pull the heart through. Or come up hard, lifting the hands down onto the thighs. Right hand will come onto your right hip. And then we're just going to lift the left arm up and maybe over. So we're coming into a side bend here. Gently drawing your right hip in and back. We're going to hug that outer hip in. And then slowly release the left hand down. Hands on either side of your foot. Come back to downward facing dog. So you know what options that you can come. Both knees back or foot steps back. Lift into downward dog. And then from here again, we're going to drop the knees. Lift the left arm up towards the sky. Step the left foot through. Pulling your heart through. Or come up higher. Hands are now onto the thighs. You're just kind of gently squeezing the right butt cheek here. Take the left hand now to your hip. And then from there, sweep the right arm out and all the way up. So you can keep your gaze looking down, or you might be able to start turning it, looking it up. And think of taking that top arm and lifting it up and over. And then we're going to slowly sweep that hand back down. Both hands on either side of your foot. And then let's step back into table pose. And then from table pose, we're going to come into a half plank pose. So begin to walk the hands forward. And then slowly begin to shift your hips as well forward. So we're going to try to come into this nice long line from the crown of the head and through the tail. Push down through your hands. And remember that little action of how we press the fingertips down into the mat. We're going to try to arrange the shoulders so they're stacking above the wrists. Gaze again is a little bit forward and down. And then slowly see if you can lower your body down, coming right down onto your belly. Now the hands are going to come underneath your shoulders. And just notice right away, if you let your arms relax, the shoulders naturally come down towards your mat. So we're going to do a couple of things here. First, we're going to begin by pressing the fingertips down, the index finger down, the palms down. Now bring your awareness into the shoulders as you lift them kind of up towards your ears and draw them back. You might even notice your chest is beginning to lift. Now let's come into the legs. Keep this action going of your arms. The elbows are pointing back. And then press all 10 toes as best you can down into the mat. You might notice the legs are now lifting away. You'll feel the kneecaps lifting, the thighs engaged. Gently press your pubic bone down towards the mat. And now with the heel of your hands, they're not going to move, but you're going to feel as though you're trying to draw them back towards the back of your mat. And as you do this, you'll automatically start to feel your chest pull through. So this is baby cobra. Keep pulling them through the heel of the hands, legs active. Or if you'd like to go a little further, taking an in-breath, lift up a little higher. Now exhale, lower. We're going to just stack our hands one on top of the other and just gently turn your head to one side and rocking hips side to side. You can even rest down onto the forehead here as well. Now let's release that. Now take the elbows underneath the shoulders. The palms can be flat. Arms are about shoulder width distance apart. And the same thing here. Activate your legs, just as we did by pressing the toes down. And then using your elbows, just very gently drawing the elbows back ever so slightly to help pull your heart through. We're not looking up towards the sky, we're just looking forward or slightly down. And then slowly release, stacking the hands. Again, turn your head to the other side. Hips can just kind of stay silent, or if you like, you can rock the hips side to side. And then let your hips relax. Hands will come underneath the shoulders. Draw the elbows back. Maybe you'll see if you can curl your toes in under. And we're going to make our way back to our child pose. So a couple of options. You can do a reverse push-up. But if that's not really available for you, kind of just lift yourself up quickly and then push yourself back. Bum towards the heels, arms reaching forward. And bring your awareness back to your breath. So feeling that expansion again in the rib cage. And then feel yourself as you exhale, come closer, kind of dropping down towards the mat. In breath, slowly lift back up, curl your toes, downward facing dog. Walking the feet towards the hands or hands towards the feet. When you arrive, we're going to lift up halfway, drawing shoulders down your back, trying to find extension. You can keep your knees bent here if that feels better, or you're going to start to straighten out the legs. Exhale, forward fold. Arms reaching behind. Inhale, lift all the way up. And exhale, hands coming back down into prayer. Slowly release the hands. And now from here, we're going to come into warrior two pose. So let's go ahead and we're just going to kind of lift up into our right big toe and then see if you can step it all the way back. So basically both feet are facing forward. Go ahead and take your hands now onto the hip and then start to keep the left foot where it is, but turn your back foot so it faces the same way as the back of the mat, or you're going to turn your toes in ever so slightly. Now from here, watch the front leg as you bend the knee, making sure the knee doesn't come out over the big toe, and just notice kind of like the opening in your hips here. And then see if you can, with your back thigh, kind of open it towards the left side of your mat. Just spiraling it open while still keeping the knee over the ankle. The arms are going to lift out to the sides. Hold and breathe. Now bring your awareness back to your shoulder blades, firming those onto your back. Reaching out in opposite direction. And then from here, inhale, straighten the leg. And just take your gaze forward, or you can look up. And as you exhale, slowly release the arms back down. Breathing in, use that front leg to lift you up. And exhale, take it down. Lift up, look up, and exhale, slowly release. Hands will come onto the hip. Try your left foot now, so both feet are parallel. We're going to breathe in as we look up, and as you exhale, bend your knees and just come to about 3/4 of the way or halfway. Pause and hold here. And then if you like, from there, release the hands, let the top of the head come down. So now we're in a wide-legged forward fold. If it's okay to do so, the legs are straight. Otherwise, if you need to, you're going to bend those knees. Now activate the outer edges of your feet, really firming up the legs here. Soft bend or big bend in your legs. Hands, once again, will come onto your hips. Notice how, again, the shoulders are rounding forward. Can you lift the tops of the shoulders back and have the elbows pointing back? Engage the legs and rise all the way up. Circle the arms. And then exhale, open up warrior two now towards the back of your mat. And then take your time. Take your hands to your hips. Keep the front knee over that ankle. And then possibly see if you can spiral open your thigh here. And then notice if you're leaning forward, can you come up so that you're in this vertical position, and then stretch out the arms. Looking out over the front fingertips. And then as we breathe in, we're going to flip the palms, lift up, straightening the front leg, and maybe the gaze comes towards center. Exhale, slowly reach out, gaze over the front fingertips. And then exhale, return back to center. Okay, so you're just moving here with your breath, stretching, and then straightening the front leg. Now this time as you straighten the front leg, hands on the hips, parallel the feet, release your hands, and we're just going to step forward now towards the front of the mat again. From here, we're going to lift up our left foot and then step it all the way back. We're going to bend the front knee, and then your back foot, same thing here. You're going to turn it out just ever so slightly. Bend the front knee so it's over the ankle, and now the arms are going to lift up towards the sky. You can just gaze forward, although if you like looking up, bring the gaze up. Now as we exhale, we're going to straighten out the front leg, arms reach behind. And then flip the palms, inhale, reach up. Exhale, straightening out the leg. So you can still have a micro bend here in your leg. Breathing in, lift up. And exhale, release it down. Hands on the hips, parallel the feet. But we're going to go all the way now towards the back of the mat. Breathing in, bend the front knee. Straighten out that back leg. And then exhale, take it down. Draw this left outer hip in and back. Reach up again. And exhale, take it down. Reach up. Maybe look up and exhale down. Hands come back to the hips. Parallel the feet and then keep turning towards the front of the mat. And then once again, you're just going to step forward. Breathe in and lift up. Exhale, hands down through your heart, forward fold. In breath, lift up halfway. So hands onto thighs or shins, wherever you like. And exhale, forward fold. Arms this time are going to reach out to the sides, circle them out, and lift yourself all the way back up. Bring your hands back into prayer. Slowly release the hands. Maybe stand your right big toe, or if you like, you're going to lift it a little higher and then step it all the way back. Now from here, we're going to add on a little bit of a sequence. So let's open up into warrior two. That's what we'll do. We'll come into warrior two. Bend the front knee. Reach out through the arms. Flip the palms and straighten out the front leg. And then exhale, bend. One more time. Lift up. Exhale, release. Now just take your hands towards the hips here again. Keep your lower body where it is. We're not going to let the legs move here at all. We're going to take our right hand and let it slide down the back leg and then lift the front arm up and over. So we're going to reverse. So notice you're not moving your legs at all. And then slowly, slowly come back to your warrior two. And then take your left forearm onto your thigh and reach the right arm overhead. So extend or side angle. Slowly again, lift all the way back up, warrior two. Now if you need to straighten your front leg, let's actually go ahead and do that. Come into reverse warrior pose. And then slowly again, come into warrior two, bend the front knee, and slowly drop the forearm onto the leg as you lift up and over. This time as we lift up and over, come back to feet parallel, hands to hips, and turn now towards the back edge of your mat. Coming into warrior two here, just keep readjusting your feet. If you need to lift them up, do so. So left foot is pointing at 12 o'clock position, and then the back foot is either turned at the 9 o'clock position, or you can turn it back in ever so slightly. Opening up the arms, extend out, grow tall. There may even still be some rounding in your mid back, so see if you can noodle around again. And then we're going to straighten the front leg and lift the arms up. Exhale, release. Keeping that knee over the ankle. Rise up. And then stay here now in your warrior two. Keep this lower body just as it is. Open up the back thigh here. And then we're going to come into reverse warrior. Slowly flip the front palm. Let the back hand slide down the leg, or you can take your hand to your hip. And then very slowly transitioning here into your side angle. Forearm onto the leg. Lift the arm up and over, or maybe it's towards the sky. Top hand again lifts you back up, warrior two. And then slowly straighten out that front leg and come back into your reverse. Breathing in, warrior two, bending the front knee. And then slowly again coming into your side angle. Use that top arm once again to lift you back up into warrior two. Take the hands onto the hips and now turn your right foot in. Keep adjusting your feet here, so now that they're both parallel, we'll come into a wide-legged forward fold. Inhale, lift through your heart, draw the shoulder blades back. And now lead with your heart. Bend your knees, forward fold, 3/4, halfway, or maybe you come all the way down. Let the head come down towards the mat. You can gently even shake out the head here a little, shake out the arms. You can shake your booty a little. Remember, we can have the knees bent here. And then slowly begin to bend the knees. We're going to roll this time up through the spine, circling the hands out and up, bringing them back down into prayer. As you draw your hands down, just drop your chin down towards your chest. Still growing tall through your spine, but we're just trying to stretch out through the back of the neck. And then slowly begin to lift the gaze forward. Release the hands. We're going to step forward. Go ahead and take one foot up towards your bum and shake it out. Shake, shake. And then come back to mountain. Hands once again rest by your sides. And from here, we're going to come into chair pose. Reach the arms up, bend the knees, bring your bum back. So you can have the gaze down for a moment and then begin to see if you can lift your gaze forward. And then take the hands out to the sides and lift all the way back up to stand. So a little bit of a dynamic movement here again. Sweeping the arms forward, bring the bum down. And now as you breathe in, lift the arms up and circle them back out to the sides. Arms again reaching forward. Drop your bum down. And lifting up, circling the arms. Let's add on a little here again. Lift the arms up, bum down. Push down into the feet, rise up. And now we're going to take a forward fold. Take the hands to the backs of the legs. Exhale, slowly, slowly forward fold. In breath, lifting up halfway. And exhale, folding. Set the hands down. Once again, walk the feet back to downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, lift your heels away from the floor. Take your gaze forward, maybe in between the hands. And slowly drop the knees back down to bring you back into table pose. Uncurl the toes, hands or wrists underneath the shoulders. Inhale, pull your heart through, rounding through the mid-back. Exhale, round it up now, pressing your spine towards the sky. Breathing in again, pulling the heart through. This time as we exhale, round up, let's push back again into a child pose. Hold and breathe here. And on your next in-breath, round through your spine. Walk the hands forward. We'll come back into that half plank. Shift the hips forward. And then really pull your heart through. Draw your low belly in as though you have this corset around you. And then exhale, we're going to lower it back down to the mat. Coming into our cobra pose here again. Take the hands underneath the shoulders. And go ahead and lift one leg out and reach it towards the back of the mat. And then the other leg, lift it up and reach it. Tops of the shoulders are coming down towards the mat. Now go ahead and lift your shoulders up, gently squeezing the shoulder blades together. Press down through the toes and an in-breath rise in the cobra. So you can be low or you can lift a little higher. Exhale, slowly lower. And then use the strength of your arms to push you back again into a child pose. Pause here for a couple of breaths so you're really expanding out through the rib cage. And then another in-breath round through your spine. Curl the toes and under. Lift back, downward facing dog. This time in your down dog, we're just going to pedal through our legs, pushing one heel down and the other. And then from there again, either walking the feet to meet the hands or hands to feet. Come into a forward fold and lift up halfway. Exhale again, forward folding. This time, take your hands towards the mat. Really, really bend your knees. And then start to lift your gaze forward, like you're almost into this squat pose. But from here, we're going to see if we can come up into chair pose. Squeeze the legs together. And then take your arms behind so we can use that momentum. And then inhale, see if you can just lift the chest. Hold your pose. Have a quick look. Can you still see your toes? If not, bring your bum back. And then in breath, lift yourself up. Exhale, circle the arms down. Bring your hands right back into prayer. Release the hands. From here, just take a moment to realign yourself into your mountain pose. The eyes can be open or closed. Feet are hip distance apart, pressing down through the feet. Grow tall through the legs as well as engaging your legs as though you're holding that block in between. Firming the outer arm bones in and spreading through the collarbones. Begin to allow your breath to slow down. Now from here, we're going to bring our two big toes together. Reach your arms forward and then see if you can lift your heels away from the floor. And then exhale, slowly release. So think of squeezing your two legs together. Lifting up, heels lift. And then slowly again releasing. So move with your breath here, rising up on the in-breath. And exhale, lowering. Let's try a couple of more here. Lifting up and lowering. Don't worry if you fall down before you finish your breath. You do what you can. And release. Now, once again, heel toe the feet so they're about hip distance apart. In breath, reach your arms nice and wide. And as we exhale, let's take the hands once again to the backs of the thighs. Hinge at the hips and forward fold. Let your hands slide slowly down through the backs of your legs. And then an in-breath, lift all the way up so that the hands now are on your thighs. So like really halfway lift it. And exhale again, forward fold. Hands to the backs of the legs. Give yourself a little massage on the way down. One more time, lifting up halfway. And exhale, forward fold. Set the hands back down. I'm going to walk the feet back into your downward facing dog. Last one for the morning. And then lower the the knees back down. A couple more cat-cow poses here. Inhale, pull your heart through. Pushing into the hands. And then exhale, round it up. Really stretch through each vertebra here. Breathing in. And exhale, round it up. Come right back to your table pose. And again, rock the hips maybe side to side. And then pretend now you come back to your table pose like you have this hula hoop around your waist. And so you're going to start to circle through your hips. And then let that hula hoop move further up through your spine. So eventually it gets all the way to the upper back. And then we're going to take it around and around in the other direction. So moving from upper back all the way down through mid back and into your lower back, into your pelvis area, circling and circling. You'll walk the hands again slightly forward of the shoulders, not too much. Keep this circling going, but maybe you make it a little bit bigger so you're kind of coming down into this sort of child pose. So circling and then changing your direction. If you have sensitive knees, I should have mentioned that you can have a blanket underneath the knees. You can also do a little forward and back motion here. And so you're going to kind of come into a half plank pose. Keep your core engaged as you stack the shoulders over the wrists. And then slowly we're going to make our way onto our bum. And then bring your back all the way down to the mat. Oh, yes, sir. Really, this is nice on the spine. So if you don't find this comfortable and you have a blanket available, you can also place that kind of on your low back or pelvic area and see how that feels. Then we're going to take our feet out to the sides of the mat, turn your toes out, and slowly wipe your knees over to the right. We'll pick them back up and take them all the way over to the left. And so you're just going to go side to side. Now, if you like, you're going to turn your head opposite to your knees. So when your knees come over to the left, you're just going to turn your gaze to the right. And we just do that nice and slow. Arms can be holding on to your body, or you can take them into a sort of cactus shape or a T position. Next time that the legs come all the way over to the right, we're just going to hold them there. Kind of let gravity take the legs down. And then slowly lift back to center. We'll go over to the left side. Again, you can turn your head opposite if you like. Just hold and breathe here. And then come right back with the knees pointing towards the sky. Heel toe the feet in. Arms are now going to rest by your side. Take a moment to just gently lift your bum up and then lower it back down. Now we're going to take our hands onto our hip points. So we're going to move through a little pose, arch and tilt our pelvis. So when you go to breathe in, you're going to even see if you can feel for your hip points. When you go to breathe in, you're going to let your hip points roll towards the knees. And as you do that, you might notice your low back lifting ever so slightly from the floor. Now, when you go to exhale, you're going to start to lower your spine back down. Notice how the hip points start coming back into neutral. And then just see if you can gently press your sacrum into the floor a little, drawing your knee in. Okay, so breathing in, you rock the pelvis forward towards the knees. And as you exhale, flatten the spine down. And so I like having my hands on my hips so I can really feel that motion of the hips moving forward and back. So think of when you're breathing in, you're gently filling the belly. The hips are rolling towards the front of the mat. And then as you exhale, the hips return back to neutral. They might even tip a little bit towards the back of the mat as you press your tail down, or your low back down, sorry. And then release this all together. Let your hands now come down by your sides and activate your arms, just like we were doing in child pose or downward facing dog. Press down through the fingertips, press down through the backs of the arms and even the shoulders here. Now start to press your feet down, and we're going to lift our hips up. So as you lift the hips up, Just see if you can find this even distribution of your back bend from your upper back and your lower back. Okay, so it's not just the hips that are trying to thrust themselves forward here. We're going to see if we can feel it as well in the mid-back area. And so really stepping the feet down, engaging your legs, and just watch that your knees aren't falling out as well as in. You want the knees stacking over the ankles. Now, if you like, you can try clasping the hands underneath, and you're going to tuck one shoulder and the other, and you're going to reach your hands, excuse me, towards your heels. Pause and hold here. Maybe begin to take the hands out from underneath. And as you exhale, just take your time. See if you can ripple down through all the vertebrae. And then go ahead and fully take the shoulders out from underneath. And then we're just going to pick up the knees in towards the chest. Draw them in. If it feels good to do so and there's no issues with your neck, you can even lift your nose up towards the knees. Exhaling through the mouth, slowly lower the head back down. Now hold on to your knees with your hands. We're just going to circle our knees. You can take them opposite to one another and circle. And if you go in one direction, you're going to take it in the other. And you can just gently bring the knees in, bring the knees out. And just use your hands as well to help support you. Lifting the legs out and then drawing them back in. And then we're going to lift both legs now towards the sky. Take a moment here, if you'd like, again, to feel the backs of the legs, if there's any soreness or anything going on there, giving yourself that little quick massage. And from here, you're going to see if you can start to lower your legs just a little bit, and then maybe see if you can straighten your legs and then start lifting them back up. Now, of course, if you feel like you need to bend your knees, go ahead and do so. But if it feels good to straighten the legs, we're going to straighten them out. Otherwise, keep that soft bend. And then begin to lift the arms up towards the sky. And then dead bug pose, we're just going to shake out the feet, the hands, and really shake, shake, shake. Think of releasing any of the tension still left in your body. Or anything that you no longer want to hold on to. Shake it all out of you. And then slowly bend the knees, take the feet down. Let's just go ahead and reach your arms overhead, getting a nice big stretch here. If you can, you're going to bring the hands down. Otherwise, you can keep the arms lifted and you're just reaching. And then maybe slide one or both legs down. So it's just like waking up in the morning, getting a nice big stretch. And again, you can kind of noodle around here, bringing your body into any shape where you feel like you need to really stretch it out. So you might want to push the right foot away, the left foot away, or the arms. And then slowly release. Take the hands down by your sides, and then one knee at a time, draw them back in towards your chest, hug them in, and just gently roll side to side here. And then coming back into stillness, we're going to move into Savasana. So some options here for you. If you already know it doesn't feel okay for you to bring your legs all the way down, take a moment just to push down through your feet and just lift your bum up, and it feels like you're trying to stretch your bum towards your heels. Just try to get some extra length here through the spine. And then if you'd like, you can let both knees fall inward. You can take your feet out a little wider. Or you're going to slide one leg all the way down and see how that feels. That's okay. Take the other foot down. And just let your feet naturally do whatever it is that they want to do. If it's to fall open or to cave in, just let that happen. If you have a blanket handy, you can grab a blanket and either place one or two blankets, one underneath the head, one on top of you if you like. And then go ahead and place the hands wherever you would help you to feel most comfortable. So whether that's one hand on the chest, the belly, or by your sides. And then slowly begin to just close your eyes. We're going to take a big breath in through our nose. And then exhale, let it fall out of the mouth. So that just kind of tells your nervous system you're safe, it's all good, and you can finally relax. Now see if you can keep the eyes closed and tune inward to your breath. Just notice how your breath is at this moment in time. And then begin to let go of your feet, so softening through your feet. Feeling the spaces in between the toes, softening in the hands. And then softening in the four corners of the eyes, so the inside and the outside corners. Softening in the ears, the inner and the outer ear. And as you do that, you'll probably feel the facial muscles soften, the throat, the neck, the jaw, and scalp. Softening the tongue. And then softening the belly, the pelvic floor. And as you soften all of these 6 points, the hands and the feet, eyes and ears, the tongue and the belly, all the other areas in between as well soften. Let the body be at ease, as well as the breath. And just feel your body kind of be heavy, resting onto the mat. Softening and softening. You can stay here for as long as you like. Or if you have to get on with your day, we're going to bring the hands back together. And then begin to rub the palms, create some heat. And then the hands can be placed over the eyes. Moving further down the face, the nose. And the hands can either stack onto the heart or into prayer. Take a full breath in. Full breath out. Have a wonderful day. Namaste. You're going to be getting up. Just take your time.